Anish, what's your take on this? According to latest study, texting just a brief K is the most emotionally triggering text you can send.
If you text just K,
Yeah.
you're breaking up with the person. Like, this is love lingo, guys. I thought you knew your love lingo. If you've received a K from somebody, it's game over.
It's cold, it's aggressive, passive aggressive.
That K holds multitudes.
Emotional vacuity is what I would call it. Like, totally don't care about anyone.
But it's also like so charged in that it's.
Yeah.
I am so angry with you right now that I cannot
there
put
you
out
go.
anything except a K. And it is truly one of the most devastatingly brutal things you can do to somebody.
I have never sent a K in my life.
A K text is the nuclear weapon in your arsenal. So you have to really be very careful. I'm very careful around K.
Meri love lingo, love lingo, love lingo. Suddenly meri to love lingo.
You're listening to Love Lingo podcast. Hi, this is Just Sagu, and I'm endlessly fascinated by what makes us human underneath the headlines.
Hi, this is Ursula Qureshi, and I'm curious to know what happens when privilege meets politics. A boy from South Mumbai who has led a privileged life. He went to Columbia University and from there to Oxford as a Rhodes Scholar. And then a plot twist that no one scripted. He returns to the heartland of India, rural Maharashtra, grassroots politics, no soft landings, no closet to hide in. But the first thing he needed as a politician was a new closet.
Today, we step into the psyche of the new age politician, the poster boy who was behind the visionary Pink List India. He chose discomfort over legacy and country over convenience. Anish Gawande, welcome to Love Lingo podcast.
Thank you very, very much for having me, and I'm so excited to be in conversation with you two rock stars.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Anish. Today's episode is What Does Young India Want? And who better than you can just help us decipher and understand, because all of us here want to know.
What does young India want? Clearly, I've been set up for failure. You're asking me a very loaded question. It's a question I struggle with because I do not identify as young. I identify as a very old man at heart. I'm secretly 70, but I'm surrounded by lots of young people.
Wow.
And so I think to me that question really boils down to two things. One is, what do we consider to be young India? Right? Do we consider young India to be the social media savvy, Instagram using 5% of the population that is most accessible to us? Or do we see young India is also this vast demographic that's really defining what it means to be Indian today? Right? We're an incredibly young country.
Right.
The median age of India is 28, which is ironically my age as well. And in a strange way, today more than ever before, you have young Indians coming of age in a country they no longer recognize as their own.
And
right?
why is that?
And I think that's because we've seen such fundamental transformations over the last few years that have reshaped how young Indians today negotiate their surroundings, their families, their communities. And they're now placed in situations that they have no precedent for. Let me give you some examples, right? So, just the other day, a report came out that said the top 5% of Maharashtra's income bracket would take 30 years or more to buy an apartment in Mumbai.
Wow.
Let that sink in. Today, young Indians do not have aspirations of owning a home or being able to have a realistic pension or being able to have any real ways of supporting their parents after their parents no longer earn a living wage or an income. And young Indians are caught in this strange world where the salary that they started earning right after college is almost the same as the salary they're earning 10 years into their job because they're working in the gig economy. Experience doesn't count for much.
Right.
You're shuffling from one job to the other. And so you're caught in this strange world where, on the one hand, you face greater economic challenges than ever before. But at the same time, you've had greater access to resources than ever before, right? So you can now buy an iPhone.
Yeah.
You can now buy new clothes. You can buy perfumes. This is the lipstick phenomenon. So the lipstick phenomenon is simple. It says that when a recession is coming and people realize they can't buy bigger luxuries like a car, a house, sort of retirement home, they switch to smaller luxuries like lipsticks,
Right.
right? And that's the greatest indicator of a recession and of economic peril, which you're seeing in young India today. For the longest time, you were told कि बच्चे engineer बनो, तुम्हारी नौकरी सेट हो जाएगी. And today, आपकी नौकरी चैट जीपीटी खा गया है.
खा गया.
Ironically, किसकी नौकरी नहीं खाई गई है? English literature graduate की. Because what do you need now?
Language?
Somebody who's prompting chat GPT.
Oh,
And
so
it's all about
actually,
the prompt.
English literature graduates are in high demand. They don't have to know how to code, or they don't have to know how to design. They have to know how to describe what is needed. So young India is in this very strange place, where at the same time you have enormous energy, enthusiasm, and a certain sense of hunger to do better, but you've been put into a system that set you up for failure. So what does young India want? Young India wants clarity on what the hell is going on and how are they going to be able to live even 10% of the lifestyle that their own parents led.
Right off the cuff, without wasting any time.
Of course.
Anish Gawande, do you want to be Prime Minister someday?
Agar Janta Janardhan chahe to. You never want to become Prime Minister. I want to be a BMC corporator, is what I've always said. Because at the end of the day, the Prime Minister is very respected, is very important. The Chief Minister is very respected, is very important. But the person who makes things happen is your local corporator. The one who's directly elected by you. But it takes only 15,000 votes to become a corporator. Which means that you're one directly accountable to 15,000 people, which is a reasonable number.
Right.
And
the
you will
ratio is
also-
1 to 15,000 as
Exactly.
a corporate. Okay.
So the reality is we've glamorized this prime ministership too much. We've deified our prime minister too much. Across governments, across political parties, across
Absolutely.
ideologies. But what we fail to acknowledge is that none of us know who our corporator is. And they're the ones who are going to fix the roads outside our house. They're the ones who are going to ensure that our public hospitals actually serve us efficiently. And they're the ones who are going to ensure that education in our schools remains sort of top quality. So your corporator is the number one post to have.
Wow. This
And
is
my
so
main
interesting.
reason for becoming corporator is I really want to change the street lighting.
the
It's
street lighting,
very
right?
ugly.
And the potholes?
Across Mumbai.
the
The
yellow
potholes
lights?
though for sure. No, but like slightly nicer,
Yeah, like
prettier
prettier.
street lights
Like
would be
Delhi
nice.
has some really
Correct.
nice lights, street lights.
So we need like an aesthetic
Yeah,
sense. I
yeah,
would like cultural
yeah, wow.
institutions, public libraries, nicer sort of theaters and public parks. These would be nice things to have. These are the things I care about as someone who grew up in this city.
In the most Jewish city in the world, an immigrant has won, and his name is Zohran Mamdani, right? Think about that, what that does for America, and does it have any kind of consequences on our psyche? If
So Zohran Mahmood Mamdani,
Yeah.
who was a professor at Columbia University and
Yeah.
also taught me when I was there. His middle name is Kwame after Kwame Nkrumah, who was
Oh.
the first president of Ghana and one of the first leaders of the Pan-African movement.
Wow.
Funnily enough, my entire thesis was on Leopold Sedar Senghor, who was the first president of Senegal and who was also one of the leaders
Dictionary,
of
please,
the
guys.
Pan-African
please,
movement.
please, guys, please.
But what I'm trying to get to with this is that Zohran falls into a lineage
Yeah,
of thinkers who were far ahead of their time.
of course.
And Zohran's victory in New York today
Yeah.
is not just a victory for a progressive democratic politics. It's not just a victory for a socialist vision for New York, but it's a vision for a brighter global future that he's carried along with his legacy.
And I feel that. And I felt that
But-
sitting here.
But it's important. And somebody asked me that you'd often feel that Zohran Mamdani was running for South Mumbai MP because all of Pederud knows more about Zohran Mamdani than they know about who the mayor of Mumbai is. But I said, that's not true.
Yeah.
Because in some ways he's activated that little bit of hope.
Yeah, he has.
No,
and
he
I
has.
love this campaign.
And I
You
love
have
this
to give it to
campaign.
I
him.
just thought this was the best campaign I've seen in a long time.
It was an incredible campaign.
What a campaign.
What a campaign.
Right.
But I want to remind you that what Zohran Mamdani is fighting for in New York today, Mumbai fought for and won decades ago.
Really?
This is a city that got free buses under this government, under the Mahavikas Aghadi government, not this government unfortunately, under the Mahavikas Aghadi government for women, it's a city that has prioritized making BST buses affordable for every single Mumbaikar. Apart from the divisive fare hike that was imposed very recently,
Yeah.
the price of a Mumbai BST bus, the base price was 5 rupees. The purchasing power parity equivalent of that is 0.25 US dollars.
Oh.
Compare that to the 2.90 US dollars that are currently charged by the MTA for a bus in New York City. So we've already made these far more affordable. Look at our Mumbai local. The base fare is 10 rupees, right? The reality is that affordable public transport that is accessible to every single Mumbaikar is in the DNA of this city.
Yeah, and it's the key to success of any city.
The-
That's why.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But
you
I
don't-
always compare it to like other cities. When I'm traveling in Bangalore, if I'm taking an auto rickshaw or even like an Uber and Ola, they're like very moody drivers. But just like an auto rickshaw, their minimum fare is way more than
Absolutely.
like now in Bombay is 26 rupees.
It's now 26 rupees.
But
and
I
everyone
remember-
goes by the meter, unlike every other city.
and
where
you
nobody
and
wants
you
to
get
go
your
by
change
meter.
back.
And you get your change back.
So that ethics, I see that in Mumbai
But,
city.
and this is a city that's fought for it, right?
Yes.
Even now, Zohran's campaign was on rent stabilization.
Yeah, of course.
Maharashtra passed the Rent Stabilization Act in 1999. I've worked extensively with the Pagdi Tenants Action Committee even before getting into active politics because rent control is an incredibly important part of our
Of
city.
course it is.
That so
because
many
every
people can
11
afford
months
to live in our city.
the landlords
No,
just
but
increase it
No,
by
this is why we need to get
5%.
more
landlord.
houses under rent control. What Zohran is fighting for doesn't scratch the surface of what we've achieved in Mumbai over the last few decades. Sahkari Bhandar. How many of you know Sahkari Bhandar?
Of course I do.
Cooperative retail store for groceries. He wants to open one in every borough,
Yeah, he
one
said
in every
that. And I said,
neighborhood.
what an amazing idea.
अरे but
But
Mumbai
we've
और
been
सरकारी
doing it
भंडार
for
since
like
when?
मुझे क्या पता यार मुझे नहीं पता
देखो, ये
सरकारी
हमारे
भंडार के
शहर
बारे
में
में
बहुत
सॉरी
सारी
यार
बहुत कुछ
सीख
है।
लेंगे अब सरकारी भंडार के बारे में
सरकारी भंडार था यहाँ पे. So, you know,
यहाँ कहाँ है भाई सरकारी भंडार पास आस
कोने पे
में
होगा.
अच्छा
There
okay,
is
जाना-
सरकारी
There
भंडार
is one
everywhere
in
across the city.
Apna Bazaar, Andheri. I know
Apna
that.
Bazaar
one.
में भी होगा.
Yeah.
In Delhi you have Safal, which was another cooperative created. So you know we created resilient institutions.
yeah
Cost of living has been an inherent part of our politics here. LPG सिलेंडर के दाम फिक्स करो ये हर पार्टी मांगती है इलेक्शन में क्योंकि we recognize that the rights of ordinary citizens are paramount.
absolutely
So Zohran's win is a reaffirmation that what we've been fighting for is not outdated,
no
is not ancient, is not regressive, is not old school. It's actually cutting
yeah
edge.
yeah
So we were far ahead.
yeah that I don't doubt now
तो
at
अभी
all.
वापस हमें फार अहेड थे
हाँ।
तो फार अहेड रहना है
Retain
और
करना
उसके
है
लिए
उसे।
बीएमसी में वोट डालना है.
got it BMC में वोट करना ही पड़ेगा हम सबको मुंबई boy
यस मुंबई बॉय दादर का.
दादरकर
Dadarkar.
now in Delhi your sojourn has taken you to Delhi your political sojourn is there any overlap between the cities or are there
And what does a Mumbai boy, Dadarkar boy, think about Delhi city?
You know, I never thought I would last long in Delhi.
I would never think you would too
So
because
I moved to Delhi right after coming back from the UK because I did not want to stay with my parents. And the reality was that rent in Mumbai was unaffordable. And so I was like, Delhi is the only attractive option. So I moved to Delhi. I was initially going to be there for only 6 months. I said trial period कर लेंगे, देख लेंगे कितने देर रह सकते हैं. But as luck would have it, I discovered that Delhi has one thing that Mumbai doesn't. Seasons.
ah
And I was like, wow, ये हमारे देश में भी हो सकता है. And I became a gardener. So I'm a part-time politician, part-time writer, full-time Mali. Because my favorite thing every morning, and this is why tomorrow I'm back to Delhi, because I love my mornings spent in my garden. I plant my ratrani, I have my nice hibiscus,
Hey, wow.
then I have my beautiful champa.
I think we lost you to Delhi
You really?
I think we lost you
this
to
is-
Delhi.
this is
That's
why-
sad.
नहीं, this is why we need Mumbai coastal forest में मेरे coastal forest का ख्याल रखूंगा ना. I'll become Mali of a much bigger forest.
Of a 100-acre
So
coastal forest.
I want to apply for whenever that job becomes open for Mali of Mumbai coastal forest.
I think
even
you would
subordinate
be-
Mali
yeah,
would
वापस
be
आ जाना
fine.
please
In some ways, Delhi is a far more vibrant city than Mumbai is currently
yeah I have to
Because-
agree with you
because of one very simple reason: affordability. Is
you
a
mean you can like Delhi is more of our capital
far
city
more affordable.
than Mumbai what have
Delhi's
we done
rental
wrong
prices are half of Mumbai. because we failed to build affordable rental housing. We've allowed for unchecked redevelopment. Lower Parel is a prime example.
Yeah.
There's 30 Lodha buildings,
Yeah.
each with 3,000 flats each, of which 1,500 are lying empty.
Yeah. And we've kind
In
of...
the heart of the city.
Yeah.
So where your most important public infrastructure is, where your libraries are, where your universities are, where your public infrastructure is, where your metro is, there are no people. There are only people coming in and going out of the office. So Lower Parel is very crowded at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. and in the morning, but empty at night. Why? Because nobody lives there. The second thing is you demolished every single public institution. Mumbai University, which used to be one of the most incredible universities in this country, is in shambles. The degree from Mumbai University is not worth the paper it's printed on. It's raddi.
Oh my God.
My grandfather was a professor, used to be vice chancellor of Mumbai University. It pains me to see the university today. It's been run to the ground. Delhi has 5 public universities.
Super.
Thousands of students coming from across the country being able to live in hostels that are affordable. They're contributing to the intellectual and cultural life of the city.
That's what I...
Culture doesn't just get created out of
No, it
vacuum.
doesn't. It doesn't just kind of...
It doesn't appear. You have to sustain it, support it. 700 public libraries have shut down in Mumbai in the last 5 years. In Maharashtra in the last 5 years. You have so much money to build this Atal Setu. How much does it cost to keep a public library alive?
And I think even with the slum rehabilitation, they have verticalized poverty. The builders have a very big part to play in this, where
But we
they've
have a-
eroded it from here, but they've taken it like to the sky.
No, but the problem is, this is the problem in Dharavi today.
Yeah, exactly what I was
They
getting
want to
to.
displace people from Dharavi.
Mr. Adani has got that
Absolutely.
tender approved for himself.
And we have no problem with redevelopment.
Of
Right? And I
course.
speak now both as an individual but also as a politician. There's no problem with redevelopment. Of course we need redevelopment. But there must be some regulation that somebody who is working and living in that neighborhood, in that vicinity, cannot be given accommodation or housing 30 kilometers away. How are they going to carry out their livelihood? You know, this we noticed in South Mumbai. So next to the Taj, the Taj President, there are a lot of slums.
Cuff parade ke paas.
Cuff Parade ke paas.
Right.
Now, a lot of the people working there work in the homes of people who live there, work in hotels that are there, work in restaurants, cafes,
In the
other
surrounding,
establishments, in the surrounding areas.
vicinities, yeah.
Right? That's their livelihood.
Yes.
If you relocate them to the salt pans, which they want to do, if you relocate them to the Devnar dumping ground, which is where they want to put anyone who is rehabilitated from a slum, how is that person supposed to travel for work every day? How is that person who has to do very rigorous physical labor?
These people, they need their jobs. They cannot risk losing their current jobs. And they wouldn't want to be posted like 30 kilometers away from where they work. And they've been doing it for the last 15, 20, 30 years. I don't know how many years. So what's the option then? What does one do? How do we rehabilitate them without taking away that from them? Because Mumbai city is cramped up at this point of time. Where does one really find decent accommodation for
So
them?
this is, I mean, you need innovation. You need true visionaries in the city right now. You cannot complain about the slum and then complain about this as
The
well.
development as well.
Then you
Yes.
want the person who's working for you to travel 3 hours a day to come to you. So you have no to give, sorry,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
for the language,
Yeah, no.
about the person who has to
Right.
come clean your dishes in your house, and you want to complain about the fact that the slum outside is so dirty and you want to remove it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you don't want to ensure that people can live a life with dignity next to you.
Right.
No.
Right? So I don't give a fuck
Yeah.
about your
Yeah.
concern.
Yeah, who
If
cares
you
about
don't
them?
want that. Just because you make 5 crore rupees a year does not mean that you're in some ways better than that person or entitled to better protections from the government or better access to resources from the government.
Absolutely not.
Right? And we have the possibility. Let's create affordable rental housing.
Right.
Let's get a space in which young people in Mumbai can find a house to shack up with the
Or
person
third
they love and
spaces,
figure out.
right.
And third spaces.
Let's have more third spaces.
Let's have more third spaces, and we had them.
We have them in
The
Mumbai.
David Sassoon Library,
It's gone.
the Asiatic Society Library. No, they exist.
that's
Okay.
still
But
there.
they're severely underfunded. The People's Free Reading Room and Library, which is where I used to study when I was in school, because I couldn't stand the noise at home, was on the verge of shutting down a couple of years ago because they couldn't get like a meager sum of couple of lakhs for donations. There was a chapter we had in school about APJ Abdul Kalam reading under lamplight.
How
and
the
how
matlab-
he-
yeah.
Romanticizing.
romanticization of those times. But we are going to come back to that.
Oh, great.
Because where else are you going to study now?
But street lights भी तो नहीं है ना?
वही करो
Street lights भी तो नहीं है ना?
kerosene lamp लगा देंगे, we'll go back to Lokmanya Tilak time.
So ये
So
भी
the
तो
reality is these are real concerns in the city. And these are young people's concerns. Going back to what does young India want? This is what young India wants.
What does freedom mean to you?
You know, freedom to me means the ability to not give a damn. Right? Like, I think it means the ability to do what I want to do without having to think about X, Y, Z. Right? It means being able to pursue profession I want to pursue. It means being able to sort of dream big without having to factor in 35 different circumstances. Right? And as a young gay man in this country, like freedom to me meant the ability to be out and proud and still be in politics. And it was a freedom that I thought was unattainable for so long. Right? And that I thought was impossible for so long. And I'm so glad to have been proven wrong. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But the reality is that's a position of privilege. I come with caste privilege. I come with class privilege. I'm a cisgender man. I grew up in Mumbai. So freedom for me has meant breaking down a certain set of barriers. And I will give myself enough and more credit for that. And I'm not somebody who plays some victim card or tries to feel very bad about getting as far as I have in life. No, I can agree that I have worked hard to get where I am.
Yeah.
But I have not worked nearly as hard
As
as so many others who struggled twice as much to get half as far. So you have to acknowledge that freedom means so many different things to other people.
Right.
And for you, freedom can mean doing well for yourself, but also then seeing how you can possibly, without being sort of savior mentality or savior complex about it, extend that freedom to others.
and also you acknowledge your privileges and that they don't come in your way. I mean, of course they support you, but that just becomes something that is a subconscious layer of your existence, right? You don't carry them heavily. Like a lot of people I see do carry their privileges very heavily, and they do turn them into aggressions towards others.
And you know, there's two ways that this happens, right? One is you get the hyper-sensitive crowd, which is like wearing their privilege as a sort of great cross and burden that they must carry with them. And they'll always preface this by, oh, you know, as my privilege says, I'm very privileged. And that leads to a paralysis. Okay, you're privileged. You're feeling bad about your privilege. And then that's not helping anybody.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
the other one is one that gets very angsty about calling out a privilege. Right? That, oh, how can you say I'm privileged? I have also struggled.
Yeah.
What do you mean? मैंने भी struggle किया.
Yeah.
Oh
my God.
And it's like, relax. हाँ, किया है भाई struggle, but थोड़ा acknowledge भी करो ना. Like, and they will take it as if you have attacked their very core being.
Existence.
कि तुम privileged हो, मतलब तुम कैसे कह सकते हो?
कैसे सकते हो? तुम्हें क्या पता मेरी
तुम्हें क्या
कहानी
पता?
क्या है?
मैंने क्या किया?
मैं रातों में
This
क्या
is very
करता हूँ?
like, but you know what I like to think of it. You this reminds me of Ranbir Kapoor and Rockstar. He's like, I've never felt pain.
I've never felt
Pain. You know, इसलिए तो मैं create कैसे कर सकता हूँ? मैंने pain ही नहीं feel किया.
cringe, man.
And those are people like relax.
God.
Yeah.
So, you know, that group also I have no
No
time
way.
for because I'm
No,
like,
no,
यार
no.
है तुम्हारे पास, just acknowledge कर लो.
That suffocates me.
Yeah.
There's a way in which I think we have to come to acknowledge very directly now that there is a sense of radical complicity.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
all of us come with certain kinds of privilege,
Absolutely.
and we are also complicit
In total.
in forms of discrimination that we inflict upon others on a day-to-day
We have inherent biases.
We have
which
inherent biases.
100%.
we
yeah.
catch them in the moment or not. I mean, I try to catch mine.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's
sometimes you
I
don't.
can't say I'm
And
above
sometimes
them.
it slips away. You
And
don't,
sometimes,
right?
but in
It's so
retroactively
wired.
or retrospectively, when I look back in the day, I say, oh shit, that's where my bias came in. Probably. I mean,
And you have to
I'm
be
doing a
called
lot
out.
of. It has to be.
You have to be called out. for it.
Absolutely.
Some of my closest friends call me out the most public.
Really?
All the time.
That's great. You have
Very
really
much.
nice friends.
And very directly. And I respect them for
That,
that.
of
And I admire
course.
them for that. Because I think you deserve to be called
Yeah.
out. The solution is not to like justify, but to improve when you do things. like that.
Exactly. Yeah, because we have to
Right.
break through the hierarchies. I don't believe in them, but they do exist, and
They
that's
do
how our
exist.
system has upheld. But yeah, how do you kind of break through them and kind of make everything on now? Ek therao. How do you do that? Like everything is on. Is that ever possible?
It's the horizon.
It's the horizon. Yeah,
You're
it's the
always
horizon.
aiming towards it. You're driving towards the horizon.
Yeah, it's the horizon.
You're never reaching it.
You're never reaching.
But you still have to keep driving.
Exactly. So that's the drive I like to take. Long
Yeah.
drive, pitch.
A long drive.
No.
Yeah.
I found out about you was after the Pahalgam attack.
Yeah.
I was doom scrolling through Instagram, and then I stumbled upon a post of yours, and I think you kind of elucidated the fact that there were two women who held the Operation Sindoor together, and I will take their names today, Sophia Qureshi and Vayomika Singh. And I said, in this world that wants a strike on Pakistan, there is, in this clamor of war, there's a voice of reason. And I just fell in love with your beautiful mind then and there.
I'll tell you this. I've been somebody who's been vehemently anti-war
Absolutely.
my entire life. I've been somebody who's been very public about the fact that the glamorization of our armed forces does nobody any good, because I've had family members in the armed forces and I know what it means. And I've been somebody who doesn't believe that the best way to speak up for your country is to speak out against another country.
Exactly.
Right? And the Pahalgam attacks were difficult.
Yeah.
Right? Because on one hand, I was speaking from an individual capacity, but I was also speaking in my capacity as the national spokesperson for my party. To put both those hats on and to be able to navigate that space remains very difficult. Now, I have so many Pakistani friends. I went to college with so many Pakistani people. Right? They're some of my dearest friends. And several of them were incredibly upset
Yeah.
when I put up that post about Vyomika Singh and
That was the best post.
Sophia Qureshi.
and Sophia Qureshi. But the difficult part was, I think that's when nuance gets lost. Right?
Yeah.
And I think the reality was that there was something important in that moment when Muslims across this country were being demonized
Yeah.
for being anti-national. When women were being used through this sort of symbolism of women having their husbands or their fathers being shot dead in front of them to spark hatred between communities. To have two women, one Hindu, one Muslim, come together to say that we do not want escalation.
Powerful.
We do not want to have further sort of conflict,
Not in their name.
and not in their name. And you can do both. You can say that we oppose the communalization of this conflict
Absolutely.
and simultaneously oppose any escalation because it leads nowhere.
It goes nowhere.
But in an age of social media, it's very hard to do.
Because
And I
hate
think
sells.
we've lost nuance.
And of course, hate has become a commodity that has been commodified, and hate sells. People don't realize that hate is an existential risk to all of us. But hate is packaged so well, Anish. How does someone like you counter hate?
Badly.
I mean, how?
Badly, right? Like, I don't know what to do about this. You get wrapped up in these sort of algorithms, right? That
Yeah, it's
the
an
way-
algorithm, right?
It's an algorithm, right? Hate sells because it's an algorithm,
Right.
right?
That's
We
well
know
said.
that Meta throws hateful content our way because it generates more traction
Yeah.
and helps them sell more
Yeah.
ads.
Yeah,
Right? So we know that hate
Yeah.
sells. And so you also know that packaging something in a less nuanced, more hard-hitting, more impactful, more like pop way
yeah.
helps it get more shares,
Yeah.
more traction, more likes. You have to be able to draw red lines for yourself. You have to know that there are ways in which I will not
No,
compromise on certain ideals, even if it gets me more traction, more attention, more sort of engagement.
something that you say now can be and will be held against you.
Decades
and in the
later.
age of social media, age of AI, you cannot get past anything.
Politicians were influencers before influencers were influencers.
Yeah, I agree.
But you are
Because
you're
people
different.
have to all politicians
Your
have to retain
inspirations must be
relevance.
different for sure.
No, my inspirations are very, very clear. In Maharashtra in particular, it's Yashwantrao Chavan, who was the first chief minister of Maharashtra,
Okay.
who was a visionary,
Yeah.
who led this state to
Of
greater heights than one could ever have imagined.
Absolutely. It's the best state in India.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's Jawaharlal Nehru, who led with conscience.
Absolutely.
Right? Despite whatever you might find flaw with him for, despite all the critiques of him, he led with a moral compass that was of his own accord and of his own creation, and he recognized the weight of the role that he was presenting.
And I think he loved, for whatever has been said, he loved India.
he loved this country.
He loved this
His last
country.
wishes was scatter my ashes across
Yeah.
this country because I want my body to be mixed with the rivers that flow. Those two, I think, are cardinal figures.
Of course they are.
And then the four figures that are the sort of four horsemen of my party in many ways are Shiv, Shahu, Phule, Ambedkar. So
Of
Chhatrapati
course.
Shivaji
Yes,
Maharaj,
yes, of course.
who was the first king to lead a multi-faith court and a multi-faith army to fight for justice. Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj, who introduced reservations for the first time and ensured that people from marginalized backgrounds
Really?
got access to justice. Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, who was incredibly important in ensuring that education reached every corner, not only of Maharashtra but of this country.
Right.
And
And-
Baba Saheb Ambedkar,
Both, of course.
who was indisputably the architect of modern India and of our constitution.
Yeah, I think the Indian Constitution is the best in the world. A lot of people say the American, but the American Constitution, you can have guns. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
come on, I say
And
no.
no, the Indian constitution is a living and breathing document.
Yeah,
That Baba Saheb realized, he said, burn this constitution tomorrow if it doesn't serve you. That it is
what a
now entrusted to you.
constitution.
He did not say that I drafted the best constitution and now you can go ahead and follow it till kingdom come. He said, no, I did the legwork. Now it's up to you to actually keep that document alive.
What
You
an
can't
open
rest
man.
easy.
What a free man.
What a free man.
As a national spokesperson for NCP.
For the Nationalist
SP.
Congress Party.
Yeah.
Yes.
NCP SP.
Yeah.
What do you think a nationalist is?
तो देखो हमें तो लोग हमेशा एंटी नेशनल बुलाते आए हैं
अच्छा.
तो
Okay,
हमने
that's
कह दिया है
news.
अभी कि हम तो नेशनलिस्ट कांग्रेस पार्टी में हैं तो हमारे नाम में नेशनलिस्ट है तो आप एंटी नेशनल बुलाओगे
I think that's
कैसे
a great
That's a
rebuttal.
great
So I'm like, I don't want to
I
get in
love
this
that.
debate. तुम्हें सोचना एंटी नेशनल बोल दो यार
हाँ,
एंटी
लेकिन ये-
नेशनल मैनू नहीं फर्क पैंदा
हाँ.
Wow,
I'm
you
like,
are a linguist,
yeah.
man. I have to say that to you. You
नहीं,
can
but he
speak
is a linguist.
No,
English,
that's because my
Hindi,
favorite
Marathi,
movie-
French,
No, that's you know
and
the
now
only
Punjabi.
Reason, no, the only reason I know Punjabi is because my favorite movie is Jab We Met,
Oh,
and the only line
got
I can
it.
recite that movie like by heart to you. मैं सिखनी हूँ भटिंडा दी.
Oh,
like, I
wow.
can tell you like every line from that movie.
How cool is
मैं
that?
अपनी favorite हूँ.
Oh,
like
nice.
it's truly like I watched that movie like
Self-affirmation.
60 times. हाँ, fully.
Fully
Like
loaded.
Kareena Kapoor was doing self-care before all of us were doing self-care.
Yeah, that's
In
true.
that movie, she was just like, I'm my own favorite person.
Yeah.
I love me.
Yeah.
This is me.
I think
Be
that
with
sold
me.
the film. Shahid
That sold
thinks
the-
it's him, but it's Kareena actually.
Yeah, it's Kareena.
Kareena did
It's
that. Kareena?
Kareena.
Yeah.
He's
Do
a
you
chocolate
watch-
boy and we always wanted Shahid in our lives, but that's because
Yeah.
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 his value add is because he's with Kareena.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
What's the song you're singing these? गुनगुना रहे हो आप आजकल कौन सा गाना?
I don't listen to music.
What?
So this is a, I genuinely don't listen to music. So the only music I listen to is playlists created by lovers.
Oh.
So all
you're on the
men,
right show.
All
It's
the
called
men I've
Love
loved
Lingo.
before. My love lingo is if someone makes a playlist for me.
Oh.
We got
So-
our answer to our question.
We didn't even ask for it.
Yeah, we didn't even ask for it.
This is what's happening.
This is
That's so cool.
mind reading.
Oh, यार.
राजनीति में ऐसे ही
मुझे
करना
पता
पड़ता है
क्या
ना.
बात
मैंने फोन में ही भेज दिया था मोबाइल से.
Because we're talking about love,
Yes.
there was something
The
I
path that is
observed
going to
with
get me
you.
cancelled as a politician. Stay
No
tuned.
way, Jose.
No, I 100%. Yeah, I will get me cancelled. I love talking about
Of
that.
course, and you should
Yeah.
talk about love and about compassion because that's what I've understood of you from everything that I watched. So I would like to quote what you said. You said that everyone in this country has a heart and we are softies. For me, this was no less than something radical, and that for me would be love. I want to understand, what does Anish Gawande think of love these days?
I learned to love from my grandmother. Who's my favorite person in the world. She is an 8th standard pass. She's been a housewife her whole life. She didn't have to go to university to learn how to love.
Right.
My favorite people to meet were the Ajjis. And they are truly the torchbearers of feminism in this country, right? Because in many ways, these are old women who've all lost their husbands early on. Because the mortality rate for men in this country has been very low. Or the average age that you live up to, life expectancy for men, has been fairly low compared to women.
In
for
India.
a very long time in India, primarily because of
The labor.
they're working as farm laborers, they're prone to getting sort of stung by a snake in the farm, etc., etc., right? So you have a very large number of women across this country who've been widowed at fairly young ages, like in their 50s or their 60s, right? And treated terribly by society, right? But these are women, despite all of these things, who have learned how to love, care, and support their families. And there's so much we have to learn from them, right? And they've nurtured generations upon generations in this country to be more caring people, to be more sort of humane citizens, regardless of what political party you support, what part of the country you're from, what economic background you come from, etc., etc. The one thing you know how to do is to care about people. And that's the one thing nobody can take away from us. And amidst all of these things that we talk about, amidst all of this grand sort of terminology around secularism and authoritarianism and all of these other things, when we recenter the conversation around care and compassion and actually giving a about the person sitting next to you, and
So
that's what's needed.
simplified. It's
That easy. It's not hard.
Absolutely.
It's genuinely not hard because we know how to care. We're a country that hates each other. India is a country divided by religion, united by festivals.
Yeah, that's true.
You will come and bloody celebrate any festival under the sun.
But were we always hateful towards each other?
Yes.
Or is this a new phenomenon?
Yes, but let's face it, no society is perfect. This
I
idea
think
of a perfect
more than
past.
hateful, do you think it's more biased?
It's
Because
biased. I,
feel
think it's more ignorance.
I feel
नहीं,
like
hate भी था
hate-
यार, like hate
yeah.
भी था, but it's fine. Like I'm not again. I think we imagine this perfect past that we have to return to,
but
it's
there's
the
no,
horizon.
there is no, yeah.
There's no
so that's
perfect
so well
past.
said.
It's always a horizon.
There's not. It's not a past.
It's
all-
always a horizon. It's
What
you're
a-
always
wow.
equality you're striving towards.
This is so futuristic. This what he just said can kind of stabilize your entire.
it just
you could-
expands your understanding of everything.
But it also makes you realize that in some ways, I think this is where spirituality is also sometimes
Yeah.
very important. I think I turn a lot to, and I've been sort of in conversation with a lot of people who are practicing Buddhist right now. And I think that's been a very important part of the last few years as well. And it makes you realize your insignificance, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, and
That-
impermanence.
And impermanence,
impermanence.
right? That this is a battle that did not begin with you and will not end with you.
But what's the change or what's the difference you
Incrementally,
can do?
exactly.
Yes.
You do what you can,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I think that's incredibly important.
yes.
And I think in a time when we're filled with make America great again propaganda and make India great again propaganda and let's go back to the Vedic age and let's go back to this age or that age, we need to just cut the crap and say,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to go back anywhere.
Anywhere.
Reminiscing certain times is fine, but then being like clinging to that and
Exactly.
always being that in a conversation is redundant, reductive.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Nostalgia is probably even then it was an imperfect time, but you're just recalling it now and saying, "Oh my God, how perfect was
100%.
it?" You know,
Hindsight is 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Anish, what does power mean to you?
Priority access at the airport. If I have to be perfectly honest. No, I'm joking. So, my dearest friend and mentor in politics is Milind Devra, who unfortunately switched sides and went to a different political party. So now we're political opponents. But I remember when he used to be a minister, my favorite stories, and he used to get some level of protection, security, etc., etc. And he to purposely asked, "Can you give me the lowest rung of security, please? Because I don't want it."
Yeah, the attention.
Because
Yeah.
he's also from Mumbai. He's like,
Yeah.
people will hate me for
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
So don't give me some convoy car, convoy car. I
Yeah.
just want to be in my car, please.
Yeah.
Because it's an acknowledgement that power does not rest in these superficial things, right? I think power is grounded in the ability to get the resources required to deliver upon the promises I make.
Super.
And the biggest challenge I have in politics today is that there are so many promises I cannot keep, and
Right.
therefore I cannot make.
And they say being in politics is being in a very lonely space, but would you resonate with that?
It is. Because for two reasons, right? One is that you're always surrounded by people, but you're only accountable to yourself.
Well said.
Day job is meeting people. I meet on average like 300 people a day, right?
A day,
A-
300 people.
Yeah.
You enjoy it?
I love it. I wouldn't ask for anything else in the world.
Wow.
But the problem is that there's no one telling me that I have to do this.
So, the
So I'm not
accountability-
accountable to anybody
Yeah.
except me. the reality is it gets very lonely because sometimes it's nice to have a boss who's like bossing you around. Yeah,
And
like
you
I also
just like
want
listening to them.
Yeah, be like, aaj ye karo, kal wo karo. Like you don't have to decide what you want to
You
do.
can leave.
You can
Like,
leave.
you can leave.
Okay, on that
You're
note,
getting that permission.
on that note,
Um,
if politics broke your heart tomorrow, what would you do next?
You know, everything else broke my heart first, which is why I ended up in politics. So, पहले तो प्यार से दिल टूट गया.
और भी गम है मोहब्बत
फिर
के
हमें
सिवा.
लॉयर बनना था
वाह.
तो हमने सोचा कि लॉ ने हमारा दिल तोड़ दिया. फिर हमने सोचा ब्यूरोक्रेट बन जाएंगे तो IAS IFS वालों ने हमारा दिल तोड़ दिया. Because I realized that actually in all of these places, the true way of finding change was through politics. So I think politics can't break my heart because it's like a lover who you will never leave even if they keep
Oh,
calling
it's
you.
that kind of lover.
It's a toxic
That
love.
kind of
Oh.
love.
You will just
That
keep,
kind
and
of
this is
love.
a
That
lifelong
kind of love
love.
is amazing, isn't
And
it?
this is the
It makes
tough
you feel
part.
alive.
It makes you feel more alive than you've ever felt ever before.
You're like,
Rajniti nasha.
so is politics as dirty as it looks, or is it worse? I mean, I don't know.
ऐसे सवाल पूछते हैं
कैसे
on
सवाल?
अब किससे
camera.
पूछूं?
किससे पूछूं?
आप-
मुझसे पूछ. Right? Is politics as dirty as it seems? It's worse. I used to be a big believer in the liberatory power of the internet and about the ability of social media to be able to reach people at an unprecedented degree. That I can reach more people today than anyone could before. In a party that is in the opposition, in a party that is not in government at any level, in a party that arguably does not have so much political relevance because of something like social media, right? The
Right.
power of an idea still has the ability to reach people.
That's how.
But how long will that continue? I don't know when Meta's algorithm changes. I don't know when suddenly like all of this content that's being pushed out to people stops getting pushed out to them anymore. I don't know when there's a shadow ban on my account that takes place through government intervention. What happens for my ability to reach out to people? So the reality is, politics is dirty even today because the infrastructure required to continuously engage with people at a time when all your systems are broken is incredibly expensive. And the only way to fix that is ground up.
Pink List India.
Yes.
Take us back to the beginning. What was the first spark behind Pink List India and what did it cost you emotionally, politically, personally?
You know, funny question because this was when I'd come back to India. I'd finished my degree at Columbia University. I'd studied Senegalese linguistics in the 1960s and focused
Which
on
taught you
Francophone
French,
West Africa.
conversing
Yes.
in French. Can you say a line in French?
Parler français si vous voulez. Hein.
Oh wow!
But
And could you translate
get
that?
close.
we can
guys,
speak
let's
in
get a
French
close
if you would so like. But I'd sort of decided not to come back because I said there was no future here.
Right.
And that's when I got a phone call from Milind who asked, will you come run my election campaign? And I said, I'm very out and in New York City. What do you mean?
Wow.
And he said, so? And that stuck. And I was like, actually,
Visionary guy.
super cool guy. And so I came back and week after graduation, I was back in Mumbai and I went to Milind and I said, okay, chalo, let's start this campaign. And he said, ye campaign abhi thoda thanda hai. Why don't you go do a tour of Maharashtra instead with the Maharashtra Pradesh Congress Committee? And I joined the Janasangharsh Yatra and traveled across the lengths and breadths of Maharashtra. And recognized over the course of my time on that campaign trail, I remember journalists telling me about Raju Shetty, farmers leader from Hatkanangale, who was asked, and this came right on the heels of the 2018 Supreme Court verdict on Section 377, which struck down a law against the carnal intercourse against the order of nature.
Cardinal intercourse.
Great
Against the order
Britain
of
law.
nature where
Against
nature
the-
itself
Correct.
is.
But Raju Shetty was asked, what do you think about LGBT rights? And he was like, listen, I'm a farmers' rights leader. If I don't support LGBTQ plus rights, it's hypocritical. And it was so simple.
What a nice answer, actually.
He was like, if I'm fighting for the rights of one minority, I have to fight for the rights of all
Wow.
minorities. And that's what sparked some of those ideas. That what can we find out about the politicians who support LGBTQ plus issues who don't look like the ones you would typically associate with supporting LGBTQ plus rights. That's where the idea of Pinkless India came about, which is that a few days after Pinkless India was launched, I got a phone call from somebody at the Times of India for an interview about Pinklist India. And when you're young, you're reckless and you're silly and you don't realize what you're doing. But that person was Mahua Das, who's one of my dearest friends at the Times, an incredible journalist. And I gave her this interview and I said, you're always told you can't be queer in Indian politics and that needs to change. And that became the headline for an interview.
Oh, that's a good
With
headline.
a huge photo of me, which got published in the Sunday Times of India's sort of national edition,
Oh,
right next to Shobha Day's column.
super.
And the tragedy was that I hadn't been very publicly out till then. So this became a turning point. That was when I was very out and came out all guns blazing. And it's a decision I haven't regretted ever since.
So which dating app can we find Mr. Anish?
No dating app right now.
Okay. What's your...
Well, someone has unfortunately had some magic wand swung over this heart for now. So
Oh, okay. How's your love life going?
terribly. Because my schedule is completely nuts.
Yeah.
Which means that it's very difficult to have a love life.
Yeah.
But what you realize very quickly is you make time for those you want to make time for. And you learn how to prioritize and not feel guilty about prioritizing some things over others.
Absolutely. That's called
And
life.
so-
Young
and
guy
it's-
like you facing these dilemmas.
Such dilemmas.
I know. The dilemmas of the heart.
Well, we forget he's a politician who is for the people, by the people,
of
of
the
the people.
I love falling in love.
What happens? Like, where does it hit you first? Which body part?
You know,
नहीं यार वो मतलब नहीं मेरा दिमाग से like I
ये देखो ये सभी हंस रहे हैं, देखो बदतमीजी की तमन्ना अब तुम्हारे दिल में है। ये देखो, this is what gets me cancelled on love.
I was
Bingo.
getting
Thank you very much.
cerebral. I was
Which
getting
body part?
cerebral. I was getting अरे
You know,
अरे
can I tell you honestly, which body part? My smile.
अरे
If I
यार
fall in love, I can't stop smiling.
Wait, and that's what I complimented you.
इसलिए यार हंसते हुए मतलब जब वहाँ बैठे
I
इसलिए
said,
हम
yeah,
हंसे।
Anish, you have the cutest smile
Yeah, he
I've
does.
seen.
ये
And
बात
that
तो है
when you know that an evening has extended into
the night
hours at end and you're suddenly staring at the wee hours of the morning and are like, why have we not stopped talking? That's when you
oh
know.
okay
And why have I not
talking
stopped
यार
dreaming?
ठीक है ना यार वो तो बातें तो करनी जरूरी भी होती हैं
हाँ, but then when you're just grinning that whole time.
I
is
mean
when
was
you-
grinning करते रहे
हाँ.
wow
I can't
new
stop-
age love making also with a new age politician just
But I
grinning
can't,
oh, यार.
honestly, when
Yeah.
when your profession is yapping and someone can leave you tongue-tied,
oh tongue tied
that's when you know.
are you pun intended here no
I said what I said.
I said
But
Yeah.
you know, that's when you know. When you're like, I have no risk. I can't speak.
yeah
You keep talking.
Yeah.
And I keep smiling.
वाह
That's
ऐसा भी होता है अनीश के साथ
when- ऐसा भी होता है.
ऐसा भी होता To all the beautiful people out there who get easily offended, please don't get offended. Today's topic is called What Does Young India Want? And all of us want different things for our country. So whatever you want is also amazing and let us know what it is. And यार थोड़ा मजे लो यार मजे लो अगर मजे लेने का है रियल में तो कॉन्टेक्स्ट जानना है मजे लो की तो एपिसोड देखो पूरी हाँ don't end it here my friend. Thank you and love you and yeah मजे लो
For common folks who live in Mumbai city, like our taxi drivers, our auto
We're all
rickshaw
common folks.
drivers, and even students who come here to study, we all are facing this pressure of speaking in Marathi language. And also, I would like to connect this with a personal experience. Not in Mumbai city per se, but when I was in Bangalore and I encountered a couple of incidents where I was forced to speak in Kannada and I didn't want to speak in that language. A, I don't know it, and you cannot just impose that on me. What are your thoughts about this?
So let's understand the genesis of this. Right?
Okay.
I think the push to speak in Marathi comes from a place of hurt. Marathi was something that was dismissed as a poor person's language. Ghati, Gauthi, Vernac were sort of insults hurled at many people, including me, right? When you were at school.
Right. I totally
these
agree
were
with
ways
you.
in which you were demonizing Marathi language, Marathi identity,
Right.
that have left very deep scars upon this city. So people who have now faced those insults have grown up and have faced this kind of exclusion that has led to a lot of real resentment, right? That the mill workers who came from Kolhapur, Satara, Solapur and migrated to Mumbai
Right.
were the ones who built up this city, right? And they feel like they're being thrown out of this city,
Right.
which is true. The reality is, when you don't understand the complexity of the systems that surround you, the ways in which a nexus between unplanned development and a lack of focus on urban governance has resulted in the death of Marathi in Maharashtra's capital, that frustration comes
Yeah.
out in other ways, right?
So there could be a way where you can direct or redirect that frustration or resentment.
Absolutely.
And
So
I
that
think-
frustration needs.
yeah,
So this is
yeah.
precisely why
Funnel.
I bring up the question of public libraries shutting down across Maharashtra, right?
Very
if you
big
want to
point.
save a language, how do you save it? Through its literature.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't save a language by forcing somebody to speak.
No.
How do you save a language? By reviving its theatres.
I absolutely agree with
Culturally.
you.
Culturally.
Absolutely.
I know that the greatest disservice being done to my language is its reduction to some sort of linguistic nationalism tool
Yeah.
that is only brought up during an election.
Right.
Because they don't have the aukat to actually defend Marathi in the way it needs to be defended. Where are the
Absolutely.
grants for Marathi writers? Why are you not supporting Marathi content creators?
Marathi theatre,
Why are you
like
not
there is
supporting
one Marathi
theatre?
theatre. There is a theatre in Borivali, and they do a lot of. They used to do a lot
The
of
cinema
Marathi.
began because of Dada Saab Phalke, yeah. Let's
Of course.
Let's give
let's-
it that.
let's give it
If
that.
you
Of
see Shivaji
course.
Mandir, the
Yeah.
state of the bathrooms in Shivaji
Yeah,
Mandir is
that's
so
right.
bad. I can't go and watch it. I remember going and watching plays there as a kid. I can't go there anymore. Your government is incompetent, negligent, and downright complicit in the death of Marathi language in
And
Maharashtra.
I think this new thing that Mr. Amit Shah, that English will not be spoken.
You know, this is a rubbish argument.
What is this?
You know, Amit Shah's son
Jay
has
Shah.
kids who are studying in English medium schools. Why? English is something you should be ashamed of, na?
Absolutely. If they
These
don't
are
want
people who do not want others
to
avail
rise
of any
in
kind
the
of
ranks.
social mobility.
Yeah.
They want to keep the poor.
Yes.
They want to keep those who do not have social mobility at the bottom rung,
Because-
so they can keep practicing their vile Hindu-Muslim politics.
Yes.
Because that is the only thing they have left going for
Yeah.
them. And this is something I feel very strongly about. Because one, you're in a city like Mumbai, where English is an Indian language.
It's a lingua franca of the world.
No, but why lingua franca? One second, English is an Indian language. What do you mean English is something we should be ashamed of?
Oh, another thing, then Urdu is the language of India.
Correct.
Eradicated because why? The Muslim
क्योंकि
population.
नस्तलिक स्क्रिप्ट में लिखते हैं.
Nah,
It's the
I don't
same
know.
language.
It's the same language. It is a language that has erupted from here. It's come from here. उसका जन्म यहीं से हुआ था.
बिल्कुल. Hindustani Prachar Sabha at Marine Drive, which was started by Gandhiji, still remains to this day an incredibly important institution.
बता दे यार अब तुम बता दे कहाँ है?
चिप दिखा दो यार,
दिखा दो
दिखा दो,
एंड में दिखा देना
end
जिस शहर से प्यार करते हैं और जिस शहर से आप प्यार करो ना
वाह
उस
मैंने आज एक प्यार की नई परिभाषा जानी है आपसे आई
just like you know every curve of a lover, you know every intricacy of a city you love.
every curve of a lover.
Let me
Let's
absorb
just that
that.
sink in.
Yeah, let's just soak it in.
First I'll have to know my own because I,
I
love
meant
myself.
this curve. आप मतलब बहुत ये भी कर्व होते हैं.
हाँ.
ये आप ऐसे देखो ये अश्लील चीजें ना यहाँ पे सिर्फ लव लिंगो पे सोचते हैं लोग. बॉडी पार्ट से लेके कर तक बदतमीजी. बट किडिंग.
I love the anatomy.
Now we're moving on to a ritual on a podcast, and this ritual is called Phone a Feeling. For all of you who are listening in at this point of time, let me just tell you we have a retro phone sitting between the three of us on a coffee table, and
Oh, I have eyes.
yes, and for those who have ears and imagination, that call that you didn't make, that you wanted to make. Here is your opportunity to pick up the phone, dial in, and make that call to someone from your past, present, future, and say whatever you have to say. This is your opportunity. Phone a feeling.
It's a very loaded phone of feeling, but I like, well,
डर के आगे.
No, and take your minutes.
Take your minutes.
Yeah.
No.
Take your
I
day.
think
Take your day. We're just
no,
sitting here.
You know
Like,
the
we
challenges.
just called
The challenges. I knew the second you told me that I have to make this phone call, who I would make it to and what I would say. But to come to terms with that is what is harder, and I think it's that level of vulnerability that sometimes very hard. And in politics, you never have to have that level of vulnerability, which is secretly why I'm in politics, because you can just always be like the important person on stage and not have to like really give into any of your feelings. But on that note, phone of feeling.
Just you want to pass the इतनी vulnerability के साथ phone भी.
Go to. Or make it easy for me. I think the one call that I would have really liked to make is to me in school, way back when. And the only thing that I would probably say is don't be so scared. That's all I got. That's all I would like to hear then.
Wow.
Secretly, what I would like to hear now as well. I think there's a part of me that needs that phone call sometimes now as well. But I think that's
Yeah, I think that goes for all of us.
Yeah.
And that we could just dial back in and listen. It's gonna all
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a handful questions, and I just want you to tell me the first thought that comes to your mind. This is going to be quick. Last song you secretly cried to.
Rang by Ali Sethi. The most
Do you like
beautiful
Ali Sethi?
song. Ali Sethi is one of my favorite.
We're gonna
artists.
get cancelled here,
I
guys.
love
You're
Ali
packing.
Sethi.
I
I'm
don't
willing to
care.
get cancelled.
Ali Sethi, I
Ali
watched you in
Sethi,
Dubai
bas.
on which is that Coke Studio, some performance. I love him.
He's an
He's
Willing to
my
get
favorite, and I really look forward to meeting you, Ali Sethi, someday if you're listening. Book you keep quoting without realizing.
Without realizing, Aga Shahid Ali, Country Without a Post Office. I think
What
there
a
are-
title.
There are
Wow.
various, but Call Me Ishmael Tonight.
Call me Ishmael.
It's called Moby Dick's
Moby
first
Dick.
line, which he uses as a part
Ah.
of his poem that I quote fairly often.
Oh.
Wow. Hot take. One overrated political phrase.
Ab ki baar.
Mumbai Forest Coastal Project.
Ab ki baar Mumbai Coastal Forest.
Okay. Most used emoji.
Oh, mine is the kiss heart. No, the kiss with the little heart on it.
Politicians को आप
Okay,
किस
got
और
it.
हार्ट भेज रहे हो?
नहीं वो मैं ज्यादा पॉलिटिशियन से बातचीत ही नहीं करता ना
अच्छा।
उनको कौन इमोजी भेज
है ना उनको भी क्या समझ में नहीं आएगा.
Okay.
Oh, actually no, it's this one.
Oh, the monkey?
Yeah, the monkey hiding face.
I like that
That's
one.
actually my most used one.
Yeah.
वो तो politician को भी भेजता
हाँ
Like,
भेजना
sorry.
भी चाहिए. Think no.
I'm like,
Think
sorry,
no.
I forgot
no.
to mention this person on
Yeah.
stage. Bas.
If politics had an HR, what would you file a complaint about today?
The lack of restrooms. So पहली चीज अगर आपको औरतें चाहिए पॉलिटिक्स में तो आप बाथरूम लगा दो यार एंड नॉट जस्ट औरतें किसी और को भी आपको
हाँ यार.
एक साथ लेके जाना है तो there needs to be a bathroom.
This or that? TV debate or grassroots rally?
Grassroots rally. anything.
Yeah.
But I'm a sucker for TV debates and so I like a little like.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
It's much
a little
more
bit of this.
intimidating. It's much more intimidating to have a grassroots rally because there's no script, there's nothing. You're reading an audience of hundreds.
Delhi weather or Mumbai monsoons?
Mumbai monsoons, but Delhi weather for all other seasons. देखो यहाँ पे तड़पती धूप में आपके पास इतनी ह्यूमिडिटी होती है दिल्ली में it's 40 degrees Celsius पर आपको पसीना नहीं छूटता ना because it's dry.
Dry.
So you can be okay with a fan. Here you're like,
Yeah. Yeah, true.
and you look like you just come out of a gym session every time you step
Delhi
out.
food or Mumbai food?
Mumbai food,
हाँ
any
यार.
day.
चलो.
Poetry or policy?
Poetry,
Oh.
100%.
अरे इसमें क्या tough है भाई?
कोई tough नहीं. More politicians need to read poetry.
What's the point that everyone or poet everyone should read according to you right now?
The poet that I think everyone should be reading is a very difficult question. But in a strange way, and given that we've discussed so much about Mumbai, the one poet that everyone should be reading is Eunice D'Souza. And Eunice was an amazing Bombay poet. And I call her a Bombay poet because she was a poet when the city was still called Bombay. And Eunice had such a wry way of dealing with the world and things around it. And if you see the Penguin Book of Indian Poetry, a compendium that has recently been edited by Jeet Thayil, Eunice is on the cover.
Oh, yeah?
And Eunice was nuts. There's this crazy photo of her with some bird perched upon
Nice.
her, like shoulder like this, and she was a little cuckoo.
Wow.
But such a Bombay poet in the true sense, and so free. So the city has got something else. So Eunice D'Souza.
Eunice D'Souza.
Super. Anish, we will look forward to connecting again and again.
And again.
And having
again.
this
And staying
exchange
connected.
and
100%.
learning from each other, because there's so much to learn from you.
100%.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well,
Thank
I hope you had a
you.
good time.
I had lots of fun.
Yeah? That's the main thing.
Thank you for watching yet another episode on Love Lingo podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your audio streaming from.
YouTube also. And just keep following us wherever we go.
So what she's trying to say is
Follow us.
subscribe to us and like us on our YouTube channel, which is Love Lingo Podcast. And to catch some fun drama BDS, see us on Instagram.
Make love.
Pop again.
Pop again.
Make love pop again.
Make love pop again.
Yeah, that's our tagline. Love Lingo Season 2.
Make love pop again.
हम है राही प्यार के ढूंढे राबता दुनिया कहती हम अलग है हमको इससे क्या हम है राही प्यार के ढूंढे रहनुमा पल में जी के देख ले तू कल का क्या पता लाए थे क्या तुम यहाँ कि लेके जाओगे खिड़कियों में अनजाने आगे पहचाने से तन्हाइयों में गुजारे क्यों तू अपनी जिंदगी दिल की जो बातें हैं सुन ले तू मेरी love